Yeah, this was probably in
I think we're
89,
streaming
90.
now again,
So
just so you know.
that's fine. Many years ago, my dad had a buddy named Jim, and Jim was like the perennial bachelor, had like this giant wall of movies, and they would always go over to Jim's house to play cards and stuff like that. And the rule was, hey, go hang out in the movie room, but any movie you want to watch first, make sure you take the tape to Jim first so that he could check and make sure you're good to watch it. And it's because a lot of his tapes were also of the adult variety, and they wanted to make sure that 1989, 1995, 6-year-old Chris was actually watching Godzilla and not pornography.
And not Gongzilla.
Hogzilla.
Aha. We are streaming, but it's restream is not taking the right one. Every time I select February 19th, 4:15, and I hit save. Oh, is it working this time? It's probably because I don't pay. Yeah, it's weird. It keeps defaulting back to the other one. Huh.
Steven, I got the new one on today. Oh, it turned off.
Sweet.
It plays much nicer if you go pixel to pixel. Like, for instance, if I flip if you have flipped a turned on where you put it screen down and it mutes everything, it automatically does it on my watch.
Oh, nice.
Simple little things.
Perfect.
When I plug it in overnight to charge, I have it set for a bedtime mode automatically. It flips my watch over to bedtime mode. Very nice little quality of life things.
That's good. That's so weird. It's like we might have to stop having the cross streaming thing. I might have to just start going out directly because I go and I select the right YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says it's gonna go, and then it just starts to our main channel. It goes offline, and then it goes to the main channel. Okay,
weird.
Let me just see if I can embed the main channel. Put the main channel in bed.
I'll embed your face into my fist.
So I would say rewatching, but honestly, it was watching for the first time the NASA press conference the night before they rolled out SLS for Artemis 2. And these are senior directors and administrators, NASA, and that sort of stuff. So it's not like they are new to panels or to press conferences or stuff like that. And one of the guys who was very experienced, and he's been around the block a few times, but you could also tell he probably wasn't the most technologically adept person in the room. And this is what he did the entire time. Strumming his fingers on the tabletop the entire time.
Well, that sounds not good.
No, I was
no
like,
bueno.
Dude, put your hands on your lap.
At least they weren't in his pants.
That you know of.
Fair point.
I mean, they were on the table strumming, so no, they were not in his pants.
Who says that was table wood?
I saw it. I saw it.
You saw the wang?
No, I saw the table.
We're going to talk about wangs tonight, by the way, guys. There's your teaser.
I'm excited.
We did toilet talk before. Now we're doing wang talk.
Yeah.
Well, because there's science and hilarity.
If we do toilet talk again, I have some things to say.
We are live now. You may need to refresh the page. Cool. I mistyped multiple times and I left it on purpose.
Wow, I'm rubbing off on you.
Title of your sect. Never mind.
I see what you did there.
I've been watching reruns of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I need to start rewatching.
As do I.
Are you guys up in Canada? You guys watching the Olympics? Is that a thing up in Canada?
Yeah, it depends on where you are, but yeah.
I'm rooting for your men's hockey team there, Steven.
Yeah, sweet.
Because Sidney Crosby's the captain.
Like
Oh, gotcha. Now it all makes sense.
sucks here in the United States, so I just stopped watching.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. You have to have Peacock. And like now the thing I saw was if you want to watch figure skating because of the rights to the music, it's on there for a day and then you can't watch it anymore.
Wow.
And stuff like that with all the musical numbers. Ridiculous.
Yeah, we've got, I don't know, it depends on who you are. There's enough people that are interested. You do, I believe you can still get it on TV and everything. But I don't know. The people that I know are more of a fan of the Summer Olympics.
Yeah,
Really?
that tends to be
In
the case.
Canada?
Just depends on the people.
I mean,
they're just as much made up sports up here as they are down there.
No, but you live pretty close, not like right next door, but pretty close to where the Olympics were hosted a few years ago.
Yeah, well, that was for then. That was for 2010, and then we moved on.
That was 2010.
And then we moved on.
Yeah.
we moved on.
Hey, we're gonna have to pretend to be real interested in 2 years, SP, because it's in America.
Yeah, you guys got to get into the World Cup too.
Well, my son-in-law will be watching that, and my daughter, because apparently he's converted her into a football fan.
Football or football?
Yeah, they're Arsenal fans, right? And I made him coasters. I made him Arsenal coasters. And
Arsenal,
he hasn't
like the
received
character.
them. Oh, Arsenal, like in anyway.
I see what you did there.
So I thought he had also converted my son into an Arsenal fan. He did convert my son into a football fan.
Football
But-
or football?
Football.
Okay, thank you.
But it wasn't Arsenal. It was Man City. So now I got to find a Man City design and print those out for him.
I'm sure that if there's anybody that can find a Man City, it's you.
It's every day here. I'm a man. I'm a city.
Man, I'm 40.
I'm a lot older than 40. Dude,
I'm
what
older
was-
than
what
40
was going
too.
on? So our brethren over in Smoking and Drinking in Capes, they reviewed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think.
Teenage Mutant. Which one?
Heroes in a half shell.
The bad one with
Which one?
Stephen Amell.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The 2017 version. I'm just going back to make
I
sure.
forget. I get. Never mind. I'm not going to admit it.
Go ahead.
No, not going to.
Because I think it will play into what I'm saying. What were you going to say?
No, it's fine. I'm not going to admit it.
Oh, no. It wasn't Teenage Mutant
likes
Ninja
it.
Turtles. It was Power Rangers. It was the
Oh,
2017
hell yeah.
Okay.
Power Rangers.
I've never
That one
seen.
was
I've never
fun.
seen the Stephen Amell Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I haven't either because Stephen Amell. But anyway, the Power Rangers 2017. And so during I'm going to spoil a little bit of their episode. So I hope they're okay with it.
La 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 la.
You think they're going to be okay with it?
La la la.
La, la,
Can't
la,
hear
la.
anything.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
My headphones are still on.
Yeah,
I can
my
hear
ear
plenty.
things are still into.
So I think they said that Power Rangers started in 1993.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then one of the hosts said that they were 16 at the time.
I was 9 or 10.
I was literally flying combat jets. So I was not 16.
well, that's too bad. You might have watched Power Rangers.
See, that just explains to me why I just never watched Power Rangers. Never. I have
That
some
movie's
of the tapes because my son
unironic-
watched them.
Yeah, that movie's hilarious just for the blatant product placement and how they go on like a 3 to 5 minute rant about Krispy Kremes and what are Krispy Kremes. And I'm like, this is product placement, but it's hilarious as hell.
All right, I think I'm good to go. You guys good?
Yes.
Good-ish. As good as can
As
be.
I
good as I
feel
can
old.
be. I'm told we get used to that, but
All right.
what do I know?
What do I know? What can I say except copyright strike?
Don't even know what that was, but let's go ahead.
All right. Oh, I didn't realize you had your Bose ones on still. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought you were using other ones, Chris.
Yeah, I got to find where they are. So the Bose ones are comfortable.
How long have you been there? How long have you lived there? Like 6-9 months, something like that?
Hey, I'm sure I still have stuff that I've never found in the entire time that I've been living here.
I might have lost them is more what I'm thinking. But these
do
are more
you lose
comfortable
stuff like
cans.
that?
I don't know. I have a hard time really carrying because these are more comfortable.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. I tweeted. Did you tweet?
I don't tweet.
No, I didn't tweet.
I
I was
skeet,
gonna
skeet,
say, did you
skeet.
tweet?
I skeeted. Maybe I should
can-
tweet.
Did
Do you have a
tweet
Twitter
as
still?
GonnaGeek?
No, I didn't
or...
tweet. I don't tweet.
I don't even have a Twitter.
I think that GonnaGeek. I think I deleted all the GonnaGeek posts. I think I purged them all.
I think you purged your posts too.
Oh.
I don't see them.
No, I didn't. I did purge all mine. I purged mine a long time ago. I was at the forefront of purging. But then no, I didn't purge the GonnaGeek ones. I thought I did. Guess I didn't. Oh well. All right, I'm good to go. Let's do this.
I will do so.
Posted on Blue Sky, Mastodon, and Facebook. Oh, I should probably get back on the book face.
Yeah.
Wrong one.
I'm Josh Liston from On the Bubble podcast, an oral history of television fandom, part of the GonnaGeek network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other awesome geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
This is the official GonnaGeek.com show. Here we run down the latest news and happenings in the world of geek. These are your hosts for the show, Steven, Chris, and SP.
Welcome to episode 424 of the official GonnaGeek show. I am Steven, and I am pleased to say Chris Farrell is here.
I have a screwdriver and I will stab you.
I switched before he stabbed. There we go. He's stabbing for the audio listener. We're also joined by Pioneer Stargate.
Red dot. Red dot. Red dot. Red dot.
You know, our pre-roll there, by the way, had the wonderful Josh Liston in there. I don't know if you guys caught that. Can I just say that Josh Liston, he just dropped not terribly long ago, I think it was about a month ago, on a new episode of On the Bubble podcast. And I just have to say, two really great things. Actually, you know what? Sorry, he dropped one 5 days ago. I was talking about the one dropped January 31st. And the one from January 31st was a short episode. It was a short little one, and it had some random thoughts by him. And there was two amazing things about it. Number one, the pre-roll person was fantastic. And it was me. Number two, he was talking about Arrow and looking at it through a different lens than when it had come out, and so I thought that was interesting. He's, I guess, going through it. So check that out on the Bubble podcast if you would like. It was a short episode, and then apparently 5 days ago he did talk about Matt Ryan's Constantine, and it was again about Arrow. So there you go.
What about Keanu's Constantine?
I thought that was actually from Speed. I thought they were one and the same.
Be interesting.
This I'll say about Arrow. The first two seasons were pretty good.
Yeah.
Chris, do you agree? First two seasons
Yes.
pretty good.
I would go as far as to say 3 is pretty okay too.
First two seasons were really good. So if you're just watching the first two seasons, I think it's pretty good. If you hang on all the way to season 8, may Crom have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, you get to meet this girl who talks about how she used to be a barista a lot.
Oh God.
I used to be a barista. Yes, you've told me 6 episodes in a row now. Thank you.
I think they made that joke over on Legends a few times too.
That was her superpower, boring you to death.
God.
Anyways, time to bring back Starling Tribune. Was that the name of it?
Hey, when Stephen Amell returns his error, I'll come back to Starling Tribune. How about that? He's not working right now.
SP?
Chris is scaring me. Although I think I was more burned out at the end than Chris was, I think. And maybe that's because I had to edit. So I had to re-listen to everything that we said multiple times.
Yeah.
So not only did I have to watch the episode, but then I had to listen to it over and over and over again. And like I said, by season 8, I think I mentioned this on the podcast a few episodes ago, when Felicity wasn't on season 8.
Spoiler alert.
The female co-lead, that tends to tell you something about the series.
She didn't used to be a barista.
No, but she could hack anything with a Microsoft Surface.
Product placement, man.
That's true. And all you needed to do, that's right, it was just this. I'm in. That's all it took for hacking.
I mean, all those CW shows were all product placement. Go back to old episodes of Smallville, and they all got Windows phones. You're like, nobody was carrying Windows phones for real back then. Come
I
on.
think Steven did.
I never had a Windows phone. I wish.
Oh.
I wish. Windows phone, more like windowsing phone. That's what I said. All right, let's talk news. I like to think that was one of the softest segues that I've ever done on this show. I think that was genius.
I'm certainly shocked.
Almost as genius as the Artemis 2 update is.
Yeah, so Artemis was on Arrow a few episodes, and let's see, her second, she was a member of Team Arrow, and her second episode, I'm trying to remember.
Was she a barista?
No. The daughter of late John Sharp and Mary Sharp. She was a former student of Star City High School and one of Hive's unwilling test subjects. After the death of Laurel Lance, again, spoiler, she started imitating her idol's alter ego, Black Canary.
Hashtag no Laurel, no arrow.
Wait,
That's a callback.
that was Artemis?
That was Artemis.
Oh.
That was Artemis.
Oh, the whole thing. So crazy.
Anyway, what we're talking about is Artemis 2, the rocket and the space mission, not Artemis from Arrow. Thank gosh. Anyway, Artemis is unfortunately delayed. I don't know if you guys... My whole screen went black. Are you guys okay?
We heard you.
We are here.
Sorry for the edit point.
No, that's fine. We can edit that out. We'll go ahead and mark it down as an edit point.
Okay. So Artemis 2, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but they had a wet dress rehearsal a week ago Monday, and it didn't go well.
I heard about
guys-
that.
Did you hear? Did you see it?
I did not see it, but I was following it, and yeah, I heard it was really not good. And then wasn't there 2 not good things about it?
There's several not good things about it. So anyway, what happened was it like streamed on the stream, the industry watcher sites for about, well, it was so long that they had to go over their 12-hour limit and they had to start a new stream. So it was at least 15 hours, if not longer. I think it was close to 18 hours before they called it.
No bueno.
And because of that, and I'll go into a little bit about what happened, but because of that, they are no longer launching in February. And I guess the launch window in February would have been at the 12th, I think was the last day. So as we record this on the 9th, we're a few days away from that. But it's not going to launch this month because, well, they did not have success. What happened is they had some leaks, some hydrogen leaks.
I mean, that happens when you get older.
Yeah, not enough outhouses or what?
No, it's apparently didn't seal up correctly, could
Need
not
some
hold
Beano.
it correctly. So the pressure was not contained. and
Under
it
pressure.
kind of leaked out. And they tried to fix it. They couldn't fix it. Now, since then, today, they announced that they have completed repairs on a couple of the seals, a couple of the old rings on the fueling system. But yeah, so they missed February, and now they're going to have to launch in March, which the launch windows in March are March 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and then the 11th. And then they have a backup opportunities in April. Basically, it's on a monthly cycle like that. And they really only have about 5 launch periods per month, 2-hour windows per month that they can launch in. That's it. If they miss it, they got to go another month. Now, it's supposed to be a 10-day mission, and it will test the Orion's capsule's life support systems with the 4-man crew and then go around the moon. But they're going to have a wet dress rehearsal, a successful wet dress rehearsal before they do. I have not heard of a scheduled date for the second wet dress rehearsal before they give the mission the go ahead. Now, NASA's new administrator, we'll call him new for a while, although I think he was confirmed in December and it's now February. So not really sure we could call him new, but it's like a honeymoon. You get like 6 months, right? Okay. So NASA's new administrator, Jared Isaacman, acknowledged the flight rate issue after Monday's wet dress rehearsal failure. And he said, quote, "The flight rate is the lowest of any NASA designed vehicle, and that should be a topic of discussion," unquote. Interesting. So basically, we've seen since the original Artemis mission, we've seen 11 Starship launches. We've seen 2 New Glenn launches, both of which had a higher rate than 1 per year. Matter of fact, the rate is higher than 1 per 3+ years, almost 1 per 4 years. So when you don't launch a rocket system in a while, it's not just the rocket that has problems, it's the ground systems that have problems because you're not using them all the time. You don't know if they work, you don't know if they don't work, you don't know if they work under pressure, that sort of thing. And that's what the wet dress rehearsal was about. It was to test the procedures and the systems. And in this case, the systems failed. I don't know if any procedures failed or not, but basically Jared's saying, I don't know if this is going to be the rocket of our future, because if we're only launching one of these every 3 years, that's not good enough to sustain a human presence on the lunar surface or on Mars or anything. So one possibility, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this yet. I do, but I don't know if you do, is that the Orion crew vehicle can be mated. It was designed, the rocket was designed to mate the Orion capsule to Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket, which is reusable and would allow for more frequent flight rate. Now, you get slightly less performance out of New Glenn, so you couldn't launch as much mass directly to orbit, but you could launch the capsule and then you could send up some other sort of system for all the, the stuff that you're going to need on the lunar surface, the consumables, the gear, all that sort of stuff. It could go up on another rocket, either on another Orion capsule or maybe another system. New Glenn's going to have their own lander. You're going to have Starship, human landing system, that sort of stuff. So I don't know what will happen long term, but I know SLS probably, like, we might see more Artemis missions, but they might not be on SLS. They might be on another reusable heavy lift rocket.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. Only time will tell what NASA will decide what its path will be. And honestly, Congress too, because they get a say because of money. Anyway, what do you guys think of the possibility of not using SLS, but using another rocket system, whether it's New Glenn or not? What do you guys think of that?
Well, let me ask you this. So SLS, that is all public funded?
Yep.
Okay.
It's 100% NASA. Yep.
Okay. So then I think it makes probably a lot of sense. I think that's probably sensible to go and get your infrastructure outside of the public space, so that way you could potentially have multiple private contractors building compatible accessories for it, so to speak.
Do tell what accessories you're talking
Rockets.
about.
rockets. Yeah,
okay.
no. Or, maybe you have like the extra battery pack in there or something like that. You go with the upgraded 5,000 milliamp hour battery. That should get you.
Basically, the nuclear reactor
Yeah.
that NASA's trying to put on the lunar surface.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but jokes aside, I do actually think it makes sense. If it's not going to work, then you just start to pivot and figure out a way to do it through the private sector.
Stephen, you don't go to your local airport and get on a Canadian government-owned plane that's been, designed, manufactured, purchased, and everything by the government. Might be a Canadian. No, I don't.
I do.
Oh. Like what aircraft does the government make?
I've signed an NDA, not allowed to talk about it.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense then.
How about you, Chris? What's your thoughts?
I think NASA should use whatever SNASA's using.
And what is NASA again? Remind me.
Secret NASA. That's an old poll for many episodes ago.
Are those the ones that made us air quotes land on the moon? Air quotes.
Oh, jeez. I was not going there. But I mean, in all seriousness, I think it's interesting to see the possibility of using other launching vehicles. I'm intrigued by that. I like the prospect of seeing other people involved and seeing what happens. So cool. Let's see some launches. Let's see some rockets go up and hopefully not go boom.
Stephen, do you remember a guy by the name of Mad Mike?
Yes, I remember. He's the water tank guy, right?
Steam rocket.
Oh.
Yeah, steam rocket.
But I thought he
Choo.
didn't he do it with a old water tank? I thought that was what he was doing, wasn't it?
That's probably how he created the steam. Yeah, and he launched it from the back of an old RV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be me.
He didn't make it.
Oh. I forgot about that. So I have two things to do with this. Number one, you asked whether or not last episode you had asked whether or not in Canada there was some hoopla happening because there was a Canadian on there.
Yeah.
You know what? It picked up just before when things started to all get close to. Then the chatter, the buzz started to happen. So it did come just very close to.
Okay. Was it a lot of country pride in that, or was it like, why are we going into space on
it was just cool
U.S. rocket?
It was more so, oh, this is neat, that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Pour yourself a Molson sort of thing,
Ew.
The Canadian astronaut?
Sure.
Okay.
And the second thing is you also talked about how the astronauts were in quarantine last time.
They've been released.
Yeah, that was my question. What happens with that?
Well, they get released. They have to go into quarantine 14 days before the launch. So if the first launch date possible right now is March 6th, it would be 14 days before that. So later in February. So they're free and clear to celebrate Valentine's Day however they want. Although you brought up last time, and I didn't see it in the show notes, so I'll just bring this up right now. Crew 11 is scheduled to launch on Thursday now, February 12th. They deconflicted the Artemis thing just because, Artemis is not launching. So Crew 12 will be launching on Thursday.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's go on to the next news point here. Trailer or am I? That's my attempt at a Yoda, which has nothing actually to do with what I'm talking about. But I'm going to talk about Star Wars because it's here. It's finally here. For those of you who were watching the Bowl, Super yesterday, you may have seen a trailer that got you all excited. That's right. The trailer is out for the next Star Wars movie. And I know what you're saying. If you are just like Chris Farrell, you are saying, Self, I really would love to see some more Kylo Ren and maybe see some more information about how we're all Skywalkers. And if you are saying, I'm so excited to explore that a little further with the new Star Wars trailer, well, guess what? It's not happening because this is actually about The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian trailer hit the airwaves yesterday. It's been long awaited, and the official full trailer did come out yesterday. The movie is titled The Mandalorian and Grogu, and it debuted the full trailer yesterday, as I said, and it's going to star Pedro Pascal, perhaps in voice only, I don't know. But other cast members include Sigourney Weaver, Johnny Coyne, and Jeremy Allen White. So this movie is not going to be on Disney Plus. No, it is going to hit the actual big screen, and it's going to come out on May 22nd. So my question for you guys is, what did you think of the trailer? And also, do you think Disney is going to be more inclusive of Star Wars fans who haven't followed The Mandalorian and associated shows religiously? Or do you think they're going to continue on their recent trend, you know, sort of post-Disney Plus, of just not being able to figure out how to balance any form of franchise storytelling between diehard fans and casual fans?
Chris, you mind if I go first?
Proceed.
Trailer wasn't new. It came out at D23 in September 2025.
I thought it was
The
new.
teaser during the Superb Owl was new and a riff on the Budweiser's Clydesdales, but the trailer, we'd seen it, that it links to.
I thought that it came out new.
Nah, it's been out for a while.
Well, that's
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah. I let you go with it right to the end so I could
That's
hang
fine.
with it.
He's the dream crusher.
That's okay.
I am. So, but you asked a question.
No, we're
so
good.
Chris,
We're done.
no,
Next
no,
news
Chris.
point. Next news point.
Chris, go ahead. You can answer the question, Chris.
I will say this.
Hold on, let's back up. I thought there was only a teaser that came out, like some of this footage. I thought it was new. I thought that the whole. I didn't think all of this had come out before.
Like Chris said, the Budweiser teaser was new, but the actual trailer, if you go to YouTube and you watch like the 2.5 minutes or whatever, that was at D23 last September.
Well,
Yeah.
that blows.
That's why like all the movie trailers are kind of underwhelming because they weren't many and it wasn't Spider-Man nor was it Avengers. So I really didn't care.
Spider-Man, who cares?
Actually, most of the trailers or teasers, most of the commercials sucked. It was all AI,
they were pretty bad.
crypto, betting. The best one was the Manscaped one because it was weird as hell. And then probably the tight end one because it actually served a good purpose.
I did not see those last two. I did see the one where they de-aged a bunch of actors for something.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
That was the other trend was a bunch of de-aging slop, which was terribly done.
I like the Lewis Pullman and Kurt Russell one because it paid homage to Kurt Russell as Coach Herb Brooks from the 80s Olympics. It's like, again.
But like the tight end one was actually a pretty good one. Bruce Arians was narrating it, who famously had prostate cancer, was cured through surgery and finding it early. And it was all jokes about why are these tight ends so relaxed? And it was a bunch of former NFL tight ends wearing their uniforms. And Arians does a narration that's effectively, hey, you can get a prostate cancer screening with just a blood test now. So all of these tight ends are relaxed because it was a play on words. But it was also, I didn't know that. I'm 41 years old at this point in time. The time is coming soon for those tests. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool that we can do this with a blood test now at this point versus a scope.
Well, I
and
mean,
stuff
it's,
like that.
It's partially effective. It's not 100% effective. I mean, if you really want to find out, you got to go underneath the scope. But so Stephen asked the question, you think they're going to be more inclusive as we go forward, or are you going to have had to watch all the stuff that was on Disney Plus? And to that, my take on that is, who's running Disney creative content right now? Who is that? Chris, you might know. Who is that now that Kathleen Kennedy has stepped down? Who's running the creative content?
It is not Jon Favreau.
No, it's Filoni.
Yes,
And
exactly.
Whose fingerprints have been on all of that Disney Plus stuff?
Well, him and Favreau, but I think you have a good point. Looking at this trailer, though, it just looks like, I don't know how much it's going to tie into all of the lore. It looks like it's just an adventure with the Mandalorian and Grogu. Now, that could be proven wrong. It should be fun. I hope it's fun. But it brings me to a point that I've said before on social media. Nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. Same with Star Trek and things like that. I'm tired of fans that are just like, this sucks because it's not what I like anymore. It's not what I remember. If you don't like it, just shut up and move on.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted now by some of these people who proclaim themselves fans and spend more time tearing it down than they do talking about what they enjoy.
I heard they're going to retitle it. Instead of Mandalorian and Grogu, they're going to retitle it Star Wars True Grit.
Okay. I'd allow it.
You talked about Star Trek. I finally gave in, and I did decide to watch Starfleet Academy. By the way, I did catch up.
It's fun.
Yes, I'm
what-
up. I'm caught up to date. I decided to go for it. I actually think that this was the type of thing that should have actually advanced to that era of storytelling. I still have all sorts of issues with the burn, but I think that this was a much better vessel for that era of storytelling and the story that they want to tell about the status of the Federation than Discovery was. So still have lots of issues, but
Yeah. Just a side note for folks that may be watching this, episode 5. Try and go in unspoiled, especially if you really enjoyed Deep Space Nine, because there's a lot
Yeah.
of Deep Space Nine references, and it is a delight. There are a bunch of stories on the internet about why it's a delight. Please try and avoid it, because I think it is more enjoyable not knowing what's coming.
agreed.
I have not seen episode 5. I have been mildly spoiled on episode 5, but I've been trying to avoid everything that I can. I do plan on watching it maybe tomorrow night or
It's
the
quite
day after.
enjoyable. I think it's episode 3 of Starfleet Academy is really the only one I was like, I don't really care for this, but I went, maybe I'm not always the target for this, and that's fine.
Yeah, so I've been continuing the Strange New Worlds fan cast, and episode 3 just came out of Strange New Worlds fan cast on Starfleet Academy this past weekend. And yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't
We'll
hate
just
it.
leave it
I
like
don't
that.
hate it. I think it's fun.
I don't
didn't-
hate it.
I
I
didn't
think
hate
it's
it.
flawed at times.
Yes.
Well, that whole, let's be honest, that whole era is flawed.
Look,
that
and
whole-
part of the
that
problem
whole
with episode
thing they wanna
3,
do.
part of the problem with episode 3 is there's no Bob Picardo in it.
Meh.
You got this all show with Robert Picardo, and he's not in episode 3 of Starfleet Academy.
No, not even for a second.
Not even for a second.
No.
Yeah. He's not in the episode.
That explains it then.
Exactly. I mean, I sort of kidding on that one. It's just, for those that haven't watched it, the whole concept is like a prank war between the War College and Starfleet Academy. And I was like, this is just one of those one-offs that Star Trek likes to do sometimes in these things. When it was a 22-episode season, 24-episode season, a couple one-offs here and there were fine. But when you're talking a 10-episode season, that's 10% of your episode count that's kind of wasted with a random one-off that
Pretty much what
whatever.
we said on the podcast. But I will state that if you view that episode just with Captain or Chancellor Aki and view that as the main story, like focus on that, it's actually a pretty good episode from her
Fair.
standpoint.
See, I didn't have an issue because I kind of think this is a great Star Wars discussion, by the way. But I didn't think that that was really that bad in this sense, because this whole series seems like a piss. I don't know, what do you call it? Just a for fun series.
Okay.
It's a popcorn movie.
I can bring
Popcorn
this
show.
back to Star Wars. I can do this. Just bear with me. Walk with me. Walk with me for a second.
Do it.
What do you like better, Starfleet Academy or Prodigy?
I haven't seen Prodigy.
I haven't watched all of Prodigy yet, so I don't know if I can really weigh in.
All right. Well, that kind of weakens the argument a little bit, but we can proceed.
I like better. Does that help?
Okay. Okay. So let's
I
pretend
like Deep Space
that-
Nine
that
better. Well, that wasn't an option.
No,
Shut up,
it
Chris.
wasn't an option. Exactly. So what do you like better, Starfleet Academy or Skeleton Crew?
What's Skeleton Crew?
Really?
I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
Which
All
one's
right.
that?
The correct answer is Skeleton Crew, but
Okay.
we'll just move on.
Skeleton Crew.
That's just because Jude Law's hot.
I wouldn't cross the street for him, but he is hot. Yeah.
Whoa, he's sexiest man in the world, at least once.
Look, I'm not debating that. I'm not crossing the street for him.
Okay. So Kent says that Prodigy was a slower start, but better.
Okay. So, Kent, what do you like better, Prodigy or Skeleton Crew?
I will say though that I hate to say it, but I really feel like Starfleet Academy is showing what you led earlier in this conversation, Chris, which is that people can't be happy. Because Discovery, everybody complained how serious it was, and now everybody complains that this is useless or off the rails or not a traditional Star Trek. And it's like seems like there's no happy medium there anymore.
Look, you want to know what my harshest criticism is of this current generation of Trek? I hate the starship design of
they're
all
awful.
of them.
They're ugly.
Because I'm like, where's the pylons? Where's the cool curves and swoops that all of these ships have? I miss that.
Programmable matter. It's programmable matter.
Ick.
That's what the thing is.
Ick.
Okay.
One of the many reasons I don't like the time jump.
Yeah, I mean, it is 1,000 years into the things change.
How
It's
is
a
it practical to have like empty space between your warp engines and your ship that you just kind of hold in place?
Because
How do you fix the warp engine?
You got to move away from the radiation.
Yeah. See, I could see a situation where I don't know what they are, but if the warp core is inside the nacelles because of the whole warp bubble thing. So it actually could make sense in that case. But I think though from a just artistic perspective, it's a dumb decision.
What happens when the power goes out and your nacelles float away?
They float away.
All right, so continue with your way that you were getting us back to Star Wars.
Skeleton Crew.
I think we ruined it.
You did. Skeleton Crew.
ruined
Star
it.
Wars.
Sounds good. Well,
We poo-pooed on his plan.
if you want to see a outdated trailer, go ahead and check out The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Hail Mary. Hail Mary. Did you guys see the trailer? It wasn't new, but did you guys see the trailer? Hail Mary.
Yes.
No.
Are you excited?
I watch the Canadian channel. We don't get the American commercials.
Chris, you're not excited over that?
Yeah.
I'm not either. It's not going to be the Martian.
Yeah.
Same author, but I just don't think it's going to be the same.
I want to read the book. I'm still excited to read that. It's been sitting on my Kindle and I haven't done it. But I'll watch it at
Did
some
it
point.
crack your Kindle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it sat on it real hard. And then it broke. And then there was weeping.
All right, well, why
Leaking?
don't you tell us all about why we should hate Discord, Chris Farrell?
So there was some interesting stuff that came out today. I know that we use Discord a lot. We plug it a lot. GonnaGeek.com/Discord. It's where we have communication with our community. I use Discord for a variety of other communities that I'm a part of. And today, Discord announced an updated policy where all users must verify their age, there's a caveat, to access any adult, i.e. NSFW, content on their platform. To verify their age, however, a user will have to upload a video selfie or a copy of a government ID. According to Discord, they're relying on AI technology that will verify the age on the user's device, either by evaluating a user's facial structure or by comparing a selfie to a government ID. Although the IDs will be checked off the device, the selfie data will never leave the user's device. This is something Discord emphasized. Both forms of data will supposedly promptly be deleted after the user's age is estimated. I always get uncomfortable with the prospect of sending identifying information to social media sites. Now, to clarify, if you're just a standard user of Discord that want to chat with your friends, probably not going to be a problem. This is only going to occur in Discords where there are channels that are marked not safe for work or adult, explicit, things like that, where this will be required. Everyone will have to do it in order to do that. But there are a lot of Discord users that are kind of alarmed by this move. They're doubting whether Discord could be trusted with this information. Well, why is that? Well, back in October, hackers stole government IDs of 70,000 Discord users from a third-party service Discord previously trusted that was used to verify ages in the United Kingdom and Australia. At that time, Discord told users the hackers were hoping to use the stolen data to extort financial ransom from Discord. In October, Ars Technica, which is where I got this article from, had a security editor who joined others in warning the best advice for people who've submitted IDs to Discord or any other service is to assume they have been or will be stolen by hackers and put up for sale or used in extortion schemes. Now, Discord has said this is a slightly different model with data not leaving the device. other than I think the selfie picture itself. The company is hoping to convince users they've tightened security after the breach. They're partnering with a company called KID, which is an increasingly popular age check service provider, also used by both Meta and Snap, which totally makes me feel much safer that all these other social media communities that have leaked my data and not taken proper controls on it are using this. And perhaps I'm being a bit hyperbolic here, but I don't know that if just a few months ago you let go of a bunch of IDs that you'd collected for stuff, that I really want to be sending this stuff to you. I remember back in the day, all the message boards, well, back in my day, I'm going to sound old, we just create a username and password and you hung out with people. I sort of get what Discord's doing here. They've got to protect themselves from lawsuits and exposing minors to things they shouldn't see. But, you know, I don't access anything NSFW on there or any channels like that, so I'm not super worried about it. But if this requirement were to shift to just any Discord user, yeah, I'm going back. I'm making message boards again. We're going Web 1.0, baby. So my question for you guys now, I'm not assuming you guys are on Discord for things that are adult in nature, but hey, sometimes there's channels like that pop up where you go. If something gets categorized as NSFW or adult, if only for adult language, would you be convinced to verify, or would you be like, nope, get me off this server?
I go to Tumblr for all my NSFW.
I mean, that would have been topical about 10 years ago. Didn't they clean all that off?
So I think that I have a couple thoughts on this whole thing. The first is to answer your question. Number one, if it became an ID verification, I probably would just wait till the inevitable AI thing worked. I'm not gonna get flagged as being underage with a mug like this. It's not gonna happen. So I'd rather do that than submit ID, because let's be real, this is everywhere. It's all over the internet by now. I've done video shows for how long? Yeah. I have turned left. I have turned right. Like, you know, it's everywhere. So
the three of us live in a special hell where we've trained any AI to pretend to be us.
Yes.
Because there's thousands of hours of video and audio content of us on the internet.
Exactly. So for that, you know, I wouldn't. If I had to send an ID, I'd have to really think about it, because like we have NSFW language in our Discord, but we don't have NSFW content. So I'd have to really think about it. I do like the community that's there. And so I don't know. I'd have to think about that. The second thing is I can't really fault Discord for doing this, because they don't care. It's regulations. That's all they're worried about, is meeting regulations that have been established by governments around the world. So I can't fault them.
Yeah, but you just leaked a bunch of our data. I would be very skeptical, is my personal take. Now, I should clarify, I don't think you have adult Discord channels in its current state by just using profanity.
Oh.
You would have to be posting imagery and video content, is my understanding, to be considered that.
So my issue is, even with the ID verification, Discord doesn't centrally moderate any of the Discords. It's all done internally on the Discord. Mm-hmm. So my concern with even something that's NSFW is you could, after the verification, erroneously find yourself in something like child porn. Yep. And I don't want that. So that would be
Discord covered their ass. That's all they care about.
Well, did they? If they're not moderating Discords that might have that sort of content on it.
Historically, that seems to have done the case when it comes to pulling that kind of content off of Discord. And this seems to be a further tightening of the protections for themselves, would be my take.
Well, again, I don't think it fully, so it covers you from being underage seeing it, but it doesn't cover them from content that is illegal. In child porn is illegal in a lot of areas, including, I think, Canada. It definitely is in the United States.
Well, what
So-
I think they are trying to do here, my conspiracy theorist that's bouncing right off that point, is I think that they are trying to not get lumped in with the Facebooks of the world and the other platforms that are currently being hounded by many different governments of like and the YouTubes, because there's so much out there right now about the damage that's being done by these social media platforms to youth. And so I think that Discord is trying to continue to slide under the radar as much as they can. I know that they have been called on a few different times, but the thing is, right now they're not looked at in the same way as Facebooks and YouTube and other social media, TikToks. And so I think that they want to continue on. So they're trying to preemptively cover off as many government regulations as they can worldwide, because then it becomes a whole other mess if they have to get lumped in with them.
Facebook is roughly in the same boat. And the reason I say that is my Stargate Pioneer Facebook account was blocked by them. It still exists. I get freaking emails about it all the time that I can't turn off
Yeah.
because I can't access the account to delete it or anything. But they wanted my identity, same thing that Discord's doing right now. They wanted me to prove my identity, and I refused to do it in association with that account. So they blocked me from accessing that account. Same sort of thing that Discord is doing. The same thing.
Yeah. I'd say it's a little different, though, because theirs was because they wanted you to have your real name so that they could market it, as opposed to this one, which is about an age thing. So it's...
Was it? I mean,
Yes,
so
it was,
first of all,
because it was
you
not anything to
acknowledging-
do with age.
You acknowledging the market thing is new, or at least was new since the original, because you were like, I don't know if we can say that at the time.
Which,
now
the
that you're
marketing?
acknowledging. Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think we ever hid that. I think you've talked lots on Better Podcasting
I
about how it was
have,
marketing.
but you've never actually okay. So anyway, yes, I believe that. But also since then, I think they've done a lot of age stuff, which they've done secondary and tertiary identification since then by accumulation of data on the name and your photos and stuff like that. So they proved your identity through other means rather than the direct identification.
Well, if you are somebody who thinks you're going to be affected by this, or you have kids that are going to be randomly asking you if they could verify their ID as an adult, you now know what's going on, and you should come to our Discord and say, my kids tried to pull one over me and say that they wanted to watch NSFW content without telling me that. Because you know that's what's going to happen. It's just like Roblox. They just want to get my age. No, it's not. Anyways, next news point here. ET phone home? What?
Yeah. So have you guys ever heard of personal cell phones being able to be taken into space on a NASA sponsored mission?
No.
Only on SNASA.
Yeah. So private missions, okay. Other countries, okay. NASA, no, we're not going to send that. It's not proven technology that we can send into space.
I mean, we did see some of the folks that flew up on Blue Origin taking photos and stuff like that and posting on their Twitter when they got back and stuff like that.
Oh,
while
that's
they
right.
were up for space tourism.
Yeah, that is absolutely.
I was trying to
correct.
make a joke, SP, but you did wrangle me back into being topical, so thank you.
You're welcome. It's taken me all episode, but I got you there, so that's good.
It was bound to happen eventually. I gotta try harder.
So NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman revealed that the Crew 12 and Artemis 2 astronauts will be allowed to bring iPhones and other modern smartphones onto orbit and beyond.
Windows Phone.
Blackberries.
Samsung Galaxy Note 7.
7.
NASA astronaut quote, NASA astronauts will soon fly with the latest smartphones, beginning with Crew 12 and Artemis 2. We are giving our crews the tools to capture special moments for their families and share inspiring images and video with the world, unquote. Could you imagine Chris Hadfield with one of these? Ugh. NASA astronauts have long captured amazing photos from the space station, but having a smartphone on hand will open up a world of video possibilities. This will likely be especially useful when astronauts are conducting an experiment or looking outside a window and see an interesting transient phenomenon. However, Isaacman said the decision to allow astronauts to bring iPhones is about more than just capturing cool new photos and videos. It's part of his effort to challenge longstanding NASA rules and requirements. Quote, just as important, we challenged longstanding processes and qualified modern hardware for spaceflight on an expedited timeline. That operational urgency will serve NASA well as we pursue the highest value science and research in orbit and on the lunar surface. This is a small step in the right direction, unquote. All right, guys.
That's one small step for Apple, one giant leap for iPhone.
Android.
Kind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, so my comment on this is that I know why these devices have not been qualified for space travel. Can you guys take a guess?
Sensitive data and kaboom.
I don't think sensitive data. Kaboom. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but they could take photos of secret NASA satellites and put those on Twitter by accident.
Yeah, I know. It's all about the Twitter slips, right?
Probably radiation. I mean, not radiation. The radio waves.
Interference that could be
Cosmic-
caused by the device.
That one.
Well, there's that, but there's a lot of other stuff that's not shielded on board too, but cosmic radiation. So, Stephen, you're a big fan of Linus Tech Tips, right?
I've heard of the channel.
Yes.
I'm familiar.
And Chris,
His countrymen.
I believe you've watched that as well, Chris, right?
Yes, I do enjoy the tech tips for one Linus.
A couple of years ago, Linus
I'm quite
did
thirsty for them.
a whole episode on laptops in space. Did you guys remember watching that? Did you listen
I
to it?
probably did. It doesn't really ring a bell at the moment.
Okay. Well, the problem here is that space radiation knocks those things out left, right, and backward. You got a Linus Tech Tip thing there. Yeah, the tool case. Yeah. Yeah. The problem that they revealed was that, and this is interesting for the data centers that are supposed to go into space too, the AI data centers that everybody says is such a great idea for a lot of reasons. Well, here's why I think it's a bad idea, is because those things go bad often. They often glitch. They have bits that are flipped by space radiation. It's just a factor, not of weightlessness, but of the environment that it's being exposed to. And cell phones are no different than a laptop. Underneath, it's unshielded. It is just an open chip. It's open storage. And I would think, and that's why it takes a while to qualify something to go into space, by the way, is that you need to make sure it's shielded and capable of continuing operation during its planned mission timeframe. So this will be an interesting experiment. We will actually start to see, especially with Crew 12, because they're going to be up there for months, how sustained exposure to the radiation environment is going to do to those things. So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
It will definitely be interesting. That said, it's more user friendly. People are more used to having it. It's on them at all the time. You're not like dragging out a big old camera all the time, making sure its battery is charged up and everything. If it's a phone that's on you the whole time, you can do the magnetic charging, the wireless charging on it if you have an adapter up there. And I think everything would work great. So I think it's a good idea. I just don't know if they're going to be able to operate during the planned mission period.
Yeah, obviously the number one concern that I would have is whether the radiation is going to cause damage that causes safety concerns. Like, that would be the number one question that I would have. But let's assume that we won't. I think that it's super smart of the idea of challenging this norm, because if you can be developing an app for an iPhone to replace developing actual government hardware, how much better is that going to be in user-friendly, friendliness, like you said, but also in just the ability to apply that across multiple different purposes. So, maybe it is something that we have in a short time, the space station, and we have a moon base, or we have whatever, right? We have multiple space stations. It's better than just unique actual hardware if you've already got technology that does a lot of what you need. And, iPhones are used in governments across the world anyways, so why not? Obviously, the safety concern is number one, though. But I think this is smart. I think that's a really good thing to look into. And hey, imagine if you were a blue bubble in space. How awesome would that be?
Yeah, but do you want to get silence? Because this is how we get silence. We're going to irradiate smartphones, and that's going to be the first Cylon, and then we're all dead.
That's fine.
We ain't got no space travel enough to travel across the galaxy.
Chris, you're not wrong. A lot of not flat earthers and those that believe in evolution say that life evolved largely from the aspect of molecules and then living tissue being irradiated by gamma radiation. So you bring something into space, you have less of that, inherent shield protecting from the Van Allen radiation belts, and you might get a transformation of, let's say, a smartphone into something like, I don't know, Soundwave. And then you get Megatron, and then you get bad things like toasters that transform into things that are going to kill you.
So do they get
Megan
Wi-Fi
Fox.
in space? Like, is there a Wi-Fi hotspot at the International Space Station for them? or-
That's a good question. I don't know. I used to know the answer to that, and I can't tell you yay or nay anymore. I don't know.
Because as a
I think
standalone,
I think
your
they
smart.
do.
Okay, I was gonna say because your smartphone would be good for capturing video and audio and stuff like that, and whatever you load on it ahead of time. But let's say you're up on the space station for 6 months or whatever. If you can't connect to the internet to, I don't know, get updates, get your favorite podcasts or whatever, it gets stale. I guess the other question is what's the data rate
so
to the International Space Station?
I think it's something that's not said here. They're not taking a phone into space to use it with all of its functionality is connected to the web or a cellular network. They're taking it into space to use basic functionality like the camera, like recording, maybe biometrics, stuff that you can sense with the phone. You're not using it as a phone. So they won't be calling home from the phone, at least not that I know of.
But see, that was going to be my question, was actually Wi-Fi related as well. So do you know off the top of your head what, well, actually it doesn't matter, I'm sure, but when I think about this. I was going to ask you what the orbit, how do you say that? The orbit height? Like what's the measurement of elevation? Orbit? What? The number that you measure how high
orbital
something is.
altitude.
Orbital altitude. What's the orbital altitude of the space station?
I want to say it's like 250 kilometers.
Okay. What about
Could be miles. I
Okay.
don't know.
What about of Starlink satellites?
It's a bit above it, but
Okay.
That is not how the space station communicates.
No, but I'm saying, could that not be the next evolution? Is if Starlink or competitors were able to supply internet to the space station or whatever other missions we're talking about where these phones are going to happen, then why couldn't you have an actual phone?
Well, like I said, an actual phone might work in space if you're able to connect through some sort of cellular network with a constellation such as Starlink. But my concern would be long-term health of the electronics on board the phone itself.
Well,
So it might work for a little bit, but it's not going to work for an extended period. It's going to fry itself, basically.
So I guess the follow-up question then is the government going to buy them new phones upon their return if they get
They're
fried?
not. So I've seen some stories and whatever, and they're talking about it. They're not actually taking their phones into
Okay.
space. They're taking a phone that has been loaded with certain
Loaded and preset for it. Sorry, I got put in that mindset because we started talking about the Blue Origin stuff, and those guys were not in space long enough probably for there really to be any kind of damage to their devices or anything like that in that space tourism effort. But it put me in that mindset of thinking similar to that, right or wrong. Oh, they're just taking their device like these guys did that were in space for 10 minutes. yeah, it would make sense that they wouldn't be taking their own for.
And as Stephen pointed out, safety would be my number one concern, particularly the lithium ion battery on board. What happens when that starts heating up? Do you just eject it into space? Do you have to
Throw it out
contain
the airlock, to quote Laura Roslin.
Yeah, right. Airlock it. Do you contain it with some sort of, explosive containing device? I mean, what do you do to prevent the International Space Station from having a fiery mess?
I wonder if there's if they are doing an iPhone, if they're working with Apple for what's that other battery type that everywhere outside of North America seems to be going towards? What is it? Silicon carbon? Silicon carbon?
MKBHD just did a video about it. I can't remember though.
Yeah, but apparently they're safer than lithium ion batteries. So I wonder if they'd use something like that. I don't know. Random theory.
I don't know.
Well, let's move on to the next news thing here because, if you can send your iPhone to space, why don't you send your HomeKit to the future as well? And the future is updating your HomeKit. Because if you've not updated your Apple HomeKit platform apps yet, you want to do that because we are recording this today, February 9th, 2026. And apparently, as of tomorrow, February 10th, Apple will end support for the original HomeKit architecture. Back in May of 2025, Apple said that it was going to end support for its original Apple HomeKit architecture. And they had said that it was going to end in November. But they did postpone this back in November and said they're pushing it out till February. The new home architecture has been in place since 2022. So it is, it's been around a while, but apparently when this launched, didn't know anything about it. Apparently when it launched, there was a lot of problems with it and it didn't get the best start. But now they're all in on it, so you do need to make sure that you are all up to date. And if you are all up to date, guess what? You're going to get extra features like activity history, guest access, and even support for robot vacuum cleaners. So that might be a good indicator you're on the new one if you have a robot vacuum cleaner and it's all supported in there. To upgrade, all users need to do is make sure that their Apple hardware that is using this is all up to date with the software. Hardware needs to support either iOS 16.2, iPad OS 16.2, Mac OS Ventura 13.1, TV OS 16.2, or Watch OS 9.2 or later. Apple devices that aren't able to get this just won't be able to connect to the new architecture, and I guess it becomes e-waste. So I want to ask you guys here, have you ever used any of the Apple Home stuff, specifically the HomeKit stuff? Not just the third-party apps that are compatible with the Apple Home, but the actual Apple HomeKit stuff, the platform that actually does the local communication. Have you ever used any of that in your ventures? And secondarily, have you used any of the Apple Home stuff at all on your devices?
So, Stephen, I'm glad you asked this. I've been giving a lot of thought, and here's what I'm going to tell you. No and no.
Well, there we go. That was an easy one.
So I've got everything tied up into smart things right now, in all honesty, jokes aside. And I don't really want to migrate to HomeKit because things are working reasonably well in smart things. And I just don't want to rock the boat because it's, you guys know, it's such a pain in the ass to migrate things to a new platform. And I know that some of us had to do it when we got off of Wink years ago before it turned into the trash heap that it is now. That it took a good afternoon plus to migrate all of my devices. And unless there's some tool to easily migrate from smart things over to HomeKit, it is not worth my time. Just not.
I have to say myself, I've used the Apple HomeKit stuff just in passing a couple of times. My kitchen smart thermostat is actually running on it, and I'm using an emulator on my Home Assistant to do it. But HomeKit, I don't know if it was the old or new one because it was a long time ago. My experience was it was actually pretty good. It was really solid and reliable and fast and local. But I haven't done too much with it. But it seems like people who use it swear by it. I know, I can't remember who it is. In our Discord, we have somebody who recently in there said that they've gone all in on it in recent.
People who are all in on it seem to like it.
Yeah.
And maybe if I hated the experience I was having, or I was having issues, I'd be more open to it. But again, why rock the boat if everything's working as it's expected right now? I just don't want the headache of trying to fix everything again.
Makes sense.
I really don't.
And how about you, to our number one Apple fanboy on the podcast, SP?
I think that title belongs to you now, as our late podcasts have demonstrated over the past few months. I do have audio that I could play if you are so inclined.
I am not.
Okay, so you concede that you are the number one Apple apologist on this podcast?
I will never, ever, ever doubt that I am conceited.
Okay. So, just to make sure, to check, to not lie on this podcast, I got my trusty iPhone 17 Pro Max or XL or whatever it is, and I found the Home app by searching for it because I have no idea where it is on my phone. I opened it up and I found that I have nothing connected to it.
That's too bad.
Yeah. There is a grid forecast for my area. There is a Discover Home badge basically saying that you've never used this before. You might need to figure out how to use this app. And then a little area that says add accessory. So no, I don't use the Home app.
Well, then maybe people should come to our Discord and tell us all about it, because I know there's people in our Discord that have talked about it, but why don't you come over and say you guys are all idiots for not using it? That's what you should do. Come on over to GonnaGeek.com/Discord.
Yes. All idiots, yes. All idiots for not using that. That might be just yet another reason that we're all idiots.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, just put it in the queue.
All right. Well, moving from HomeKit to a kit, let's talk about Chris's news point.
It's all about physical education. That's what PE Gate is. No, it's not. So we're going to talk about something that is both funny at first glance, but then gets really weird. And I talked about it in another Discord community I'm in just because it was so strange. And I figured it was timely right now.
Whoa. I thought you were only in our Discord. That was my understanding. You're cheating on
others. Of course.
Jeez.
Of course. We're in a poly relationship here, okay?
All right. Fair enough.
And poly would indicate that all parties are consenting, and I don't want to get lumped into that.
I'm pretty sure you guys are all in multiple Discords.
Maybe, but not in yours.
You don't know that? You don't know all my socks who I pretend to be on the internet? That's why I don't want that age verification thing to come to me, because then I'll have to admit that I am Steven Jonger, number one fan, 52.
Don't even know what a sock is.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want to know about your poly socks thing.
Oh, that's like an old message board term for people's fake accounts, was a sock.
Oh,
wow.
Okay. Well,
all right, let's get into the news.
Go deal
here
with your crusty socks.
This is another interesting story. Hey guys, it's the Winter Olympics as we record this right now. And we know that in the past, in both Summer and Winter Olympics in professional sport, that many athletes may have either skirted or broken the rules to gain competitive advantages. Coming around the time of these Olympics, we're now hearing about a new way that some male competitors may be trying to gain a competitive advantage, but it requires some, how do I put this, personal modification that might be pretty uncomfortable, just to be frank. So what are we talking about here?
Wait a minute.
There's articles circulating the web right now. Go ahead.
You're Frank now? I thought you were Chris.
Well, you might see why I made a Frank reference here in a second.
All right.
Articles are referenced in circulating the internet right now that male ski jumpers are injecting their penises with filler to gain a flight advantage for their jumps. So how does this work, you might ask? We're going to have a frank and honest discussion here, guys. This could be a funny thing, but hey, as the rumor goes, having a bigger bulge on a required 3D body scan taken in the preseason could earn jumpers extra centimeters of material in their jumpsuits. And a suit's larger, how do I put it, nether regions provide more surface area to glide with. Even a small increase can make a satisfying difference in this sport, supposedly. A 2025 simulation-based study published in the journal Frontiers in Sports and Active Living suggested that every 2 centimeters of extra fabric in a ski jumpsuit could increase drag by about 4% and increase lift by about 5%. On a jump, the extra 2 centimeters of fabric amounts to an extra 5.8 meters of distance, the simulations found. Now, this may seem strange. You'd be like, oh, I don't think that would work. Well, we have seen instances in the past with skiers and their teams altering their uniforms to gain illegal advantages. Last year, 2 Norwegian Olympic medalists, I would try to say their names, but I would butcher them, so we'll just not say them. And 3 of their team officials were charged with cheating after an anonymous video showed the head coach and suit technician illegally restitching the crotch area of 2 of the jumpsuits suits to make them larger. The jumpers each received a 3-month suspension. The head coach, an assistant coach, and the technician faced a harsher 18-month ban. So we do know there is a precedent for altering skiers' suits in the crotch region. Now, if you get caught, you get punished. So there are rumors going around now that jumpers are internally padding their groin region. That first came to light in January when a German newspaper called Bild reported there were whispers of jumpers using hyaluronic acid or possibly paraffin injections to grow the area, is I guess how we'll call it. Bild quoted Dr. Cameron Karim, a specialist at a hospital in Germany, as saying, and this is a translation, there is the possibility of obtaining a temporary optical thickening of the penis with an injection of paraffin or hyaluronic acid. Such an injection, however, is not medically indicated and involves risks. So guys, let's be clear here. These are just rumors. But when there's smoke, there's often fire. So why do I bring that up? There is enough smoke right now that the World Doping Agency might actually be taking a look at this. The injection claims came up during a press conference in which journalists asked officials of the World Anti-Doping Agency about the claims. The agency's director said they were not aware of any claims and that non-doping means of enhancing performance are not in their purview. However, according to the BBC, the president of the World Anti-Doping Agency was very clearly entertained and said, ski jumping is very popular in Poland. I promise you, I'm going to look at it. So, guys, you can find the full story on Ars Technica. Go check our show notes for it, first of all. But do you think this is actually happening? Or is this just a wild internet rumor that's gone out of control?
I think somebody was really jealous of somebody else. That's what I think.
So a couple of things. First of all, if true, you don't need to necessarily, inject the region. You can just, take a Viagra and, 15 minutes before your jump and then
I think if you're standing upright, that may not be something they would allow for those measurements. I think the injections make it so that the size would increase, but without being in its erected state. Let's put it that way.
Is it illegal to jump with an erection?
Well, so I don't think that's the case, but my guess is when it comes to these guidelines for measuring is that probably one of the guidelines is that you not be in an excited state, because that would then potentially lead to a competitive advantage, as we're seeing here from people altering the uniforms.
It's involuntary. It could be involuntary.
It very well could be. And then my thought, I haven't researched this, but I'm just thinking out loud off it, is that if that is the case, when you go for your measurements and stuff, they tell you to take a few minutes, calm down, and come back when things are less tall.
All right. So that was number one. Number two. Number two. All right. So you were talking about thickness of the suit, right?
Yes.
So in order for this to work, I would think you would want, and maybe I'm just speculating.
But it was thickness of the organ under the suit to have the competitive advantage.
Right. But I mean, if you want to really accentuate the region, you might want to go with a thinner fabric. Mm-hmm. So if true, I don't know if it is,
but I assume that is probably regulated to some way, shape, or form for these uniforms.
I'm sure thinner is fine. It's thicker that they're worried about, right?
I wager there's some kind of requirement that says it'll be between this thin in thickness, the material they use,
right.
or it may just be dictated to say you'll use this kind of material.
So say you go with a thinner, more porous material, and so these are ski jumpers, right?
Yes.
So it's cold,
Yes.
and you get a lot of fast air passing through
Yes.
your entire body, including that region.
You are correct.
Can you imagine with no protection going, I don't know how fast they go. Say it's 120 miles an hour. It could be 108. I don't know how fast they go, but over
Very
100
fast, I would assume.
over
Just
100
from what I've seen.
Can you imagine up in the, it's cold. Can you imagine the feeling? You're basically literally freezing your balls off.
Yeah. I mean, so Stephen, how do you feel? Do you think this is actually happening, or is this a wild internet rumor that's just gained traction?
I would like to believe that it's a wild rumor that's happening, but the crazy things that Olympians have been caught doing before,
Exactly.
I think there's probably some level of reality to it. I hate to say it, but I absolutely think that there is, especially when you consider the stitching in thing, right? Because the stitching in thing means that it wasn't like a massive amount of material they were adding that made that big of a difference. So this seems like the next evolution.
If true, this could also be a competitive edge for other athletes, let's say swimmers.
Potentially. And then we get to the question of how do you prove or disprove it? Are you going to go and look for track marks on people? I mean,
Look, the
don't you want to
TSA
be the
agents,
person?
the TSA agents in Phoenix, just get them to do it. Trust me.
But how awesome is it going to be when you're accused of it and then you're proven to, be legit?
Like the like the long pole jumper or whatever. And
that's right. This happened. I knew I
this
was stealing
did happen.
something. That's right.
yeah. So, yeah, I tend to agree that it sounds like a wild internet rumor at first, but you go, man, these guys do crazy crap to try and get that medal. I don't know that I would doubt it. I don't know that a ton of people are doing it, but I bet you someone did it.
Yeah.
And whether it paid off or not, who knows? But whew, it was certainly an interesting story. And I thought it was worthy of discussion because it was timely, but it was also because we could have some uncomfortable laughs while we discussed it.
Yeah. All I know is ow.
Oh, right? Why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, think of so your advantage is a medal and probably some monetary value that comes with the medal and maybe some sponsorship dealings that come.
That would
So
be my read on it.
You're trading that versus maybe your ability to use said anatomy later in life.
It's
Yeah.
never stopped people doing steroids and shit before. Whoops. And stuff before.
Edit.
That's never stopped people who have used steroids and stuff before that have had problems with their anatomy and reproductive organs.
Well, I mean, risk is on them, I guess.
Risk versus reward for some of these folks. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I would do it, but I've also never been in a position where I legitimately thought I could earn an Olympic gold medal. Maybe my personal convictions might shift if I thought, this might be what puts me over the edge. I don't think it would, but having not been in that position, I can't definitively 100% say it would. And I can only 99.99% say it wouldn't.
Well, if you would like to discuss this further, come on over to our Discord. You might need to verify your ID before you can discuss it, though.
This is science. We're not getting into anything profane or grotesque or anything like that. This is science.
Fair enough.
Sorry, my mind went in a billion different directions okay, before you jump, you have to have a fluffer or I mean,
Okay, now we've gone down that
There we
path.
go.
like I'm sure. So, okay, what a pickup line. So you're on the, I don't know, you're on the Finnish,
Are
ski
you?
jump team. No, just say you're on the Finnish ski jump team.
Nobody
and
from Finland sue us, please.
it doesn't matter. You're on the X Nation ski
There you
jump
go.
team, and you're at the lodge, and you see a hot chick. You go, "Hey, I need your help. Come to the top of the mountain with me,
God.
please."
Well, we should point
I
out
need to
that
practice.
the competitive advantage isn't necessarily for when the event is going on, it's for when you're being measured and scanned for your suit. So you will
Fair
probably
enough.
have the effects of the injection potentially having run its course, ideally, so that then you have that looser material to give you that extra lift. You're not necessarily doing the ski jump with the enhancement in effect, for lack of a better term.
I'm sure that some athletes have experimented.
Yeah.
Isn't that what the Olympic towns are all about? What are the Olympic
is.
villages?
They gave up on the cardboard bids this time around.
I saw that. But that's gonna wrap up another episode. Of the official Gonna Geek show.
No.
If you have enjoyed or suffered through any of our topics, please come to our Discord over at GonnaGeek.com/Discord. We would like to have you over there chatting with us. We are continuing on every other week-ish, assuming there's nothing that gets in our way. So that means that we are recording this today on February 9th. And that means, in theory, we'll be recording on February 23rd, a Monday. Maybe. We'll plan on it, and we'll tell you otherwise if it's not going to be the case. But that's our goal, and we'll see where it all ends up. And we would love it if you come to our live Discord while we record. And also, while you're there, you can check out some of the other awesome podcasts that are on the Gonna Geek Network, as well as the awesome people in the Gonna Geek server. There is a lot of fun people there, talking lots of geeky topics. Chris Farrell, is there anything that you would like
sir.
to plug or promote today?
No.
Nothing you
I
want?
got nothing.
Nothing you want to plug? Okay.
I got nothing. Just enjoy sports, folks. Enjoy sports.
NSP, I know you mentioned it in passing, but you are doing a different podcast, not on the Gonna Geek Network, but it is about Trek, Star, and that goes along with Pioneer, Stargate.
Yeah, it's Strange New Worlds fan cast. We're doing a season on Starfleet Academy. We'll do Strange New Worlds season 4 when that comes out later this year. So it's just kind of fun doing a podcast on Star Trek. I do miss podcasting on the Gonna Geek Network, and I do believe if you're a part of the network, and we've talked about it before, there's a hidden channel on the Discord only for Gonna Geek podcasters. I did pose a question over the week. I think it was Friday. I did pose a question on Friday about a podcast.
Yeah,
So-
but here's the problem. In order to view that channel, you have to send your government an ID to Discord.
All right. Hey, I just want to point out to everybody that despite what you might think, that last news story wasn't brought to you by me, and it shockingly wasn't brought to you by Steven. It was brought to you by Chris.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? It was an interesting story.
It was.
We had some lulls while we did it, but it's interesting to talk about weird things athletes do to win.
Oh, I just thought about how much fun that would have been to hear you guys talk about it on ATGN. That would have been off the rails.
Would have been a lot more graphic, I bet.
So, for episode number...
Wait. I could just hear Willie. Wait. Are you telling me?
So, for episode 424 of the Official Gonna Geek Show, I'm Steven saying, don't enhance yourself there.
I'm SP saying more humans in space coming soon.
I'm Chris, and I regret nothing. Nothing.
Bye!
See you guys in 2 weeks.
Thanks for checking out another episode of the official GonnaGeek.com show. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts or a thumbs up on YouTube. You can always join us for our live recording sessions at www.geeks.live. And remember, you can find our full back catalog at GonnaGeek.com/show. If you're itching for more geeky content, check out other shows on GonnaGeekNetwork.com. Voice work was by Emily Prokop of the Story Behind podcast. That's it for this episode. We hope to see you back again next show.
2023.
I mean,
It's
that's almost
2023
as,
somewhere.
that's almost as bad as Artemis right there.
Well, thanks everybody for coming on by. We hope you had a fun time. We hope you'll join us again in a couple of weeks. And yeah, it was a good chit chat chattery-ro, even if I got bamboozled about a trailer, which was not a new trailer. I thought stuff looked familiar, but I thought it was just portions of it. So, and I even looked it up on YouTube, and people were posting like it was new. So I was like, oh.
Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't think it was.
So I was
No,
disappointed.
no,
Yeah,
you're right.
if you guys say it, you're probably right. Was it officially released back then? Or was it one of those exclusives?
I saw it, but I don't know if I saw it because somebody recorded it or not.
Anyways, I'm probably wrong. That's fine.
It's all right, man. It happens. I'm wrong all the time, so I know what it feels like.
Cool. All right. Well, have yourself a wonderful evening, everybody. Goodbye.